Let us turn to our company and to the topic of cybersecurity. I hope you will enjoy. The company Wavecom was founded in the year 2000, and we have a solid know-how and expertise in wireless and IP-based systems and applications. Our business model for the transportation sector based on 3 pillars. The first pillar is a hard and software platform, which is developed, produced, and supported by our own team. We are really proud to announce that our solution is 100% made in Europe. The second pillar we offer in our solution is the IoT management platform, which is a platform as a cloud, but also on-premise solution available. This IoT management platform offering you the possibility to manage our devices, but also applications and devices which are connected to our router so that we can make visible information about the systems, for example, for passenger counting. And the third pillar we are talking about is a worldwide available support by our own team. We have in our hardware an internal eSIM, which allowed a worldwide service. We call it rescue mode, which a customer can activate in any case of help, troubleshooting, or request to do any support on the devices. Let me announce that our company has multi-ISO certification, of course, the ISO 9001 and the ISO 27001, which is a cybersecurity management certification. Beside of that, I would like to bring your attention that we are member of the IT4PT association, which coming more and more important for the public transportation sector and set standards for today and also for the future. The portfolio of our solution in the transport sector is based on 3 things. That is a connected bus solution, that is a connected rail solution, and the IoT and smart city concepts we are offering around that solution. The connected bus and the connected rail solution are more or less the same. The only difference is the hardware platform. The hardware, the routers for the buses fulfill all legal requirements, of course, for the bus sector. And the connected rail hardware, the railway router fulfill, of course, all legal requirements for the railway business. What does you get if you talk about Wavecom solution? At all, we offer a complete connectivity solution based on our IoT gateways and a centralized managed software, which allows the management and monitoring of all the gateway interfaces, and as well also manage in the addition to providing APIs for various applications. To bring it in normal words, what I would like to say is, if you checking today vehicle, you have the possibility with a central internet gateway like our Wavecom router to set and to connect all the internet application systems in your vehicle to that router. For example, the ticketing machines, the passenger counting, passenger information systems, the CCTV, and on, and connect it to the router, which also has a firewall feature inside, which later Ricardo will explain to you as the next. Oops, sorry for that. So here now at least the key features of the hardware. The router is a dual 5G router, and all models offering a dual Wi-Fi modem as well. Beside of 2 SIM card slots for physical SIM cards, we provide additional 7 eSIM profiles. So at all, you can manage 9 SIM profiles with one and the same router. We talk about the rescue mode, and we are really proud to say that we have a zero-touch provisioning, which is especially Very, very important if we talk about rollout projects in big fleets, especially in the public transportation sector. We have our remote management. This remote management is available for the customer over the IoT management portal. This is available for the reseller, which are mostly the first contact of the customer, and that is also available for us. But let me explain here one thing, very, very important. The rescue mode and the remote management support we can do to the router is only possible to activate from the customer side. It is absolutely not possible for us to get control of the router without the knowledge and without the agreement of the customer. It is similar to the TeamViewer or PC Anywhere session, where the person who would like to have any support gives the contact and the credentials to the support engineer, and then the support engineer can access to the device. And this rescue mode is limited by time and bandwidth. That means in any case, after 30 minutes, this rescue mode will be stopped and only the customer can touching the router. So before I start to selling you any solutions, I would like to overgive now to my colleague, Ricardo, who will telling you the most important things today about cybersecurity. Ricardo, it's yours.
Thank you, Carsten. So hello, everyone. From this point forward, we are going to explore the cybersecurity challenge, and we will start at this moment with the main connectivity threats that the bus connected face. So we are looking for 5 cyber threats like man-in-the-middle attacks, sniffing passenger data, lateral network spreads, where an attacker jumps from a public Wi-Fi into a critical CAN bus telemetry of the vehicle, revenue and ticketing fraud that targeting the validators on board. And on top of that, we have the vulnerability of an encrypted diagnostics data over the public cellular networks. And denial of service, DOS, and exhaustion that can exhaust the gateway performance and isolate the fleet. And the major question for today's webinar is how to solve this, how to protect our vehicles, how to protect the revenue, and be compliant with European regulations. This will be the focus of the webinar today. So we now know some of the, we understand some of the vulnerabilities that we have, and I will show you now how we bring the strategy in order to fit all these topics together. Some of the paradigm that we built is based on 5 pillars: segmentation, isolating network zones to prevent lateral movements; active prevention, real-time threat monitoring and automatic blocking; device agents that are on the device for secure and critical for the critical firmware; encrypted VPNs, security to the fleet data over the cellular networks; and also be compliance with the European standards. These would be the topics for today. Starting with the segmentation. This is the first pillar, and we need to think this as creating a physical barrier, physical and logical barrier inside of the vehicle, like this image shows. And in one side, we have the non-critical flows, and in the other side, like the Wi-Fi or passenger Wi-Fi or infotainment. And in the other side, we have the operational systems like ticketing, validation, or even engine telemetry. By using independent VLANs, virtual LANs, and also separate modems, we can ensure that we block the browsing web from the user that is connected to the Wi-Fi, or event malicious actor that wants to have access to the vehicle core systems. And this block entirely the lateral movement from virtual from one side to the other. And this is also important to mention that is following the directive of European standard that is NIS2. That is something that I will explain further. Then, moving ahead, we deploy an active prevention layer that isn't just firewall. It is a continuous defense system running right at the edge. We use edge deep packet inspection to scan data traffic in real time. And if our gateway detects an abnormal pattern, such as denial of service, the malware trying to spread, it neutralizes the threat instantly before it can enter in the internal bus network. Because of this processing happens locally on the vehicle, there is zero latency impact on the critical operations. Also important to say that the hardware needs to be protected itself. So we implement the nano agents. These are micro security programs embedded directly into the gateway firmware and connected to the connected components. They provide runtime self-protection, and if someone gains physical access to a validator, for instance, or tries to exploit a software vulnerability to modify the firmware, this agent detects this unauthorized behavior and blocks it immediately. This gives us 100% static dynamic coverage, protecting all the assets inside of the vehicle. Encrypted VPNs. So it's important to have that the data that is leaving the bus must be as secure as the data that is staying on it. The protect data that is in transit, that is sending and receiving, for that we utilize industrial grade encrypted VPN tunnels over the public 5G and 4G networks. Supported by SD-WAN software-defined wide area network, these connections are highly resilient and self-healing. What this means? Meaning that if one of cellular fails or becomes unstable, the system automatically and securely reroutes all the traffic. And on top of this, we have the authentication that can be integrated with OAuth 2.0 that ensures that only authorized devices and users can access to the network. This brings us to the fifth point that is crucial for all the transport operators in Europe: compliance and security. The NIS2 directive and the RED 18031 standards are changing the regulatory landscape, and they focus in three pillars. Article 21, that measures the risk of management and governance across the network. Data integrity, to protect against unauthorized interception and ensuring reliable data transit. And continuity, that ensures that the fleet will stay operational in case of security incidents. And also, it is important to say that this regulatory compliance is also based or focused on these three areas: network security, where we have flow isolation and DOS mitigation to protect the network against damage. Data security, using advanced encrypted connections and multi-tenant isolated database to protect personal data from users and from critical information. And access control, that use multi-factor authentication and granular permissions for cloud access and gateway access. This will prevent unauthorized access from users and devices on the network. So with this in mind, we need to come to the how the threats that I presented before can be mitigated inside of the vehicle. And here is how Wavecom technical do. For the Wi-Fi main in the middle that we showed before, that is when the passenger Wi-Fi clients can be sniffed the credentials and this kind of information, we use VLAN isolation with multiple modern physical separation. And this will separate public from operational backbones. On the lateral network spread, for instance, non-critical vectors propagating to the CAN bus, we use active prevention plus edge deep packet inspection, blocking lateral requests, so I cannot jump from one network to the other. Revenue and ticketing fraud, using embedded nano agents to enforce firmware runtime self-protection. In data transit hijacking, we use VPN tunnel orchestration using dynamic and self-rerouting paths. So we can alternate the VPNs according with the best states and best, more stable connection that we have. And for the device denial of service exhaustion, we establish a rate limit with a configurable telemetry that constrains in order to protect the CPU, the local CPU performance. With this in mind, some of the takeaways of our connected bus are connectivity and segmentation with our automotive gateway that is able to handle Wi-Fi and fleet information or fleet operation in the other side, based on redundant 5G modems that ensure high availability. We are possible to segment, to do the segment between non-critical and operational systems. On the centralized control, Wavecom IoT Manager provides a multi-tenant cloud visibility in one hand, but in the other hand, real-time defense layer with remote diagnostics and zero-touch provisioning if it needed. And then on the secure operational efficiency, we have the real-time information from different systems based on the end-to-end encryption that is the secure line from the device to the data center and vice versa, adding also different layers of authentication. All these three are compliance with the RED standard and the NIS2 that we presented before in order to ensure the unauthorized access prevention and data integrity. So this is basic what we present today, and I would like to thank you all for your time and attention. And we cover, as you saw, many challenges, vulnerabilities, but also some advanced technical mitigation strategies. And now we would like to hear from you what are the kind of cybersecurity challenges that you are facing. Thank you.
Thank you, Ricardo. I just realized that we're not only offering fast connection solutions with our router, that we also provide very fast explanation of things like cybersecurity. I understand the most of it, and if I understand the most of it, I think that all the other people here around understand 100%. We got a question during your presentation where I think perhaps it is already answered, but I would like to repeat that question because I think this is one of the most important things, and this is a typical question I always hear if I be in a presentation or in a talk with a potential customer. The question is, you mentioned strict isolation for passenger Wi-Fi. If a passenger's phone is heavily compromised, what edge protections stop that malware spreading laterally into CAN bus? So more or less the question is what we can do, how we protect that the person with his malware spread mobile phone is not able to touching the CAN bus data stream from the vehicle.
This is related to the segmentation and active protection that we talk about, and it is, I would say, based in two layers. One is the layer that we can use independent VLANs and dedicated modems to ensure that public internet usage is going in one way, completely separate from the operational and critical information environments. The second is on top of that to integrate edge deep packet inspection that continuously monitor what and automatically blocks what is going on in the 10.2 of this smartphone or this phone that has compromised. So at the end, we would have these two layers to add on to prevent a computer, a notebook, a smartphone will not jump from the Wi-Fi and compromise the operational system.
Okay. We got another question here, which goes about the deadline of the NIS2 regulation. Perhaps you can give us some more information about that.
Well, regarding the NIS2, there are these three pillars that we talk, the Article 21, the integrity of the data, and the continuity of it. And the point is, Wavecom Gateways and the IoT Manager is designed from the beginning to respond to these standards. And with that, we are able to have in our solution flow isolation, multi-factor authentication, advanced encrypted connections, and jumping from one cellular to the other. And with this, we are able to have a cloud system and hardware systems completely protected. So I would say to using this solution, we are able to have segregated the Wi-Fi from the critical stuff, and then also the operator that could be using this solution could reduce time, costs, and complexity in order to fulfill or to look to fulfill all these requirements and to not lose time.
Okay, thanks. So in my simple words, I would say we will not be fulfill the NIS2 regulations. We already do it. So yeah. I think that is a very important thing. Okay, thanks. One other question we got once about the Nano Agent. The question is the Nano Agent for zero-day protection. How does it stop runtime exploit on the firmware without causing latency or impacting the gateway's routing performance?
Yeah, the Nano Agents have some features that needs to be highlighted. First is highly optimized. Second is a lightweight, so it is a small portion of software that is installed and can run on the device for critical firmware. Based on this, we don't need to rely on huge resources to run this type of system. We don't need a heavy video scan to do it. We do it at the edge with this kind of agents. And because of this process happens at the edge with minimal overhead, it provides security for the gateways in one hand, but in the other hand ensures the data routing and low latency and the overall CPU process is not affected. So this would be a point to have in mind.
Okay, perfect. I think this is something what I would like to give some feedback as well from the sales side. The overall topic cybersecurity getting more and more important in our today business. If we had in the past years different arguments and reasons why a bus or coach operator would like to have a mobile router in his vehicle, we're coming more and more to the situation that the consolidation of the network and the protecting of the network inside of the vehicle getting more and more important and will be the decision point for operators to decide which systems they will use in the future. 2 weeks ago, I had the pleasure to stay at the Bus World in Turkey, and I can confirm that there already the topic cybersecurity, it's much more already in the daily talks and daily business as, for example, compared to West Europe, where we're still talking about, oh yeah, that will be a topic in the future. No, it is not a topic for the future. It is a topic for today and for tomorrow and for the future as well. So that would be the questions we got so far. Any final comments from your side, Ricardo?
No.
And by the way, all of us crossing the fingers for the next game of your team. after the Germans yesterday showed to the whole world that we lost our skills to play good football, all the cross fingers are coming with the Portuguese team.
We
I
will
hope
see. We will see what happens.
Okay, good. And let me finally announce to all of you, first of all, thanks for your attention today. What you will find here now at the end is a very short poll with just one question, if you would be so kind to give us an answer to that. And we made that record of this presentation, of this webinar, and we will distribute that video to all of you. So if you have any further question, please get in contact with me or with Ricardo. The contact details you can see here on the screen. And we would be more than happy to answer you all your questions. Again, thanks for your time and please have a very great day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.